So there's a property.
Yep.
Physical property.
Multifamily.
Right. It's a multifamily.
63 units.
It's a multifamily property. The sponsor, effectively the owner of that property.
Yep.
Needs a loan.
That's right.
Okay. They come to you.
That's right.
Okay. You say, we'll provide you the loan in the form of
a loan.
A classic loan.
That's right.
Okay. So you're going to give them cash.
That's right. Term financing.
Term financing. And how long's the loan? Just
10 years.
10-year loan. Okay.
That's right.
At above market rate or below, or what's the
market rate interest rate?
I'm just trying to slow the whole thing. Okay. Now let's introduce the Bitcoin piece into it.
That's right.
So no. Explain how the Bitcoin piece then relates. So the loan has been provided.
The use of proceeds is to pay off the existing financing. So
the use of the proceeds
of the loan is to retire the existing mortgage.
Right. So there's an old mortgage.
Gone.
They're going to pay the old mortgage off.
It's been paid off.
Okay.
Now they have a little bit extra money to make some improvements in the property.
Right. So a little bit extra cash. So the amount of money you've lent pays off the old loan.
That's right.
It's also you have a little bit of extra to fix
Improve
stuff
the
up.
property, fix stuff up.
Yep.
And then with the remainder, which is a little bit
more.
more.
So even a little extra, an extra
right.
turn.
And that, instead of cash out, it's Bitcoin in. And we use it to purchase some Bitcoin and add it to the collateral package of the loan. So now our loan is supported by both the traditional asset, the 63-unit apartment building, and the Bitcoin.
Okay. So the loan, it was maybe $2 million more, so that's how you get the Bitcoin out?
Exactly right. So it's
on the assumption that the Bitcoin's going to rise faster, and that will become an asset.
Over the life of the loan, for sure. So we think on the downside, this provides us with much better protection compared to a traditional lender, because a traditional lender, if something goes wrong, they have to recover against that particular building, which is idiosyncratic risk. Something might happen with the maintenance or what have you.
But that also requires conviction on your end that Bitcoin is not a volatile asset over time, and that is either going to go up or at least stay where it is.
Well, that's by fusing the Bitcoin with credit and by fusing it with traditionally financeable assets, it gives us the luxury of expressing that medium-term view on Bitcoin, and that's what's key. It's volatile in the short run. Minute by minute today, who knows? It could cross 100,000. That would be exciting.
How long's the loan?
10 years.
10 years.
And the minimum hold period for the Bitcoin is 4 years. So what we say to the borrower is we say, look, you can repay the loan at any time for any reason with no penalty, which is a really valuable feature compared to a traditional loan.
Yeah, that's like a home mortgage.
Like a home mortgage almost. That's very unusual for commercial financing. But what we do say is that to the extent that the loan is repaid at year 4 or earlier, the minimum will release the property. But the minimum length of time that the Bitcoin has to stay in escrow is 4 years.
Well, there's lots of ways to invest in crypto at Schwab. Clients can access ETFs, they can access Bitcoin futures, they can invest in closed-end funds. So a lot of our clients have taken advantage of those ways to invest in crypto and have done well with crypto, with it hitting all new all-time highs. We also would like to directly offer crypto and Schwabize the crypto market, which is to take a lot of the spread and the commissions out of the crypto area to create a better deal for clients. We've been waiting on a change in the regulatory environment in order to do that, and we're confident that we think that will come in short order. So we're excited about the crypto space. Ultimately, it's up to the client in terms of how they want to utilize crypto in their portfolios.
And we are getting indications that the incoming Trump administration is going to be sort of loosening some of the regulations or being much more pro-crypto. So what does that mean for some of these young investors, given the size of the amount of young investors that has also been growing in Charles Schwab?
Well, 60% of our new clients that come into Schwab every year are from people that are under 40. So often, we're not thought of as the destination for young investors, but we actually attract an incredible amount of young investors, and they're attracted to the breadth of what we can do. And there's young investors invested in crypto, but also they love stocks and they love trading in options, and they love the support they can get from our team as well as the advisors that are here. So we
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have CNBC speaking about Bitcoin backing home loans. A certain percentage of the cash out will go to the purchase of Bitcoin, And as Bitcoin is growing, it'll help back the loan. So almost making the loan a secured loan. But that's only if, over that 4 to 10 year span, Bitcoin keeps growing. And who pumps and dumps Bitcoin and crypto? That's right, the Fed. And the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. And I'm going to touch later back on that topic. Now we have Charles Schwab says they want to directly offer crypto once we get legislation. And it is definitely coming in 2025. And then we off to the races. Remember, Trump's job is to land us in this digital economy. Now we have Mark, one of the SEC commissioners, saying that the war on crypto needs to stop. And guys, how quickly the narrative has changed. And don't forget, guys, Trump hired Jay Clayton. Jay Clayton is the one who started these lawsuits because he took the lawsuit out on Ripple on his way out the door. And now all of a sudden his narrative on crypto has changed. He says it's definitely here to stay and it has plenty of utility. And then also he's back in the Trump cabinet. It's the same chess pieces. If you're new, you're not going to understand. But if you've been here from the beginning, you see the same playbook. And Jay Clayton handed it over to Gary Gensler, and he just kicked that same can down the road. And the reason why is because they want the emerging markets to rise first. The rise of the BRICS nations led by China and that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And the only thing you have to do is check out Belt and Road. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have Senator Loomis pushing legislation. And the narrative of Bitcoin reserves help paying down the debt by half in 20 years. And then also backing the United States dollar so it can stay the world reserve currency. And we know the United States dollar is definitely going to lose that world reserve currency. And we're going on a level playing field for this new digital economy. And she says nothing, absolutely nothing about the machine takeover, and none of them do. They don't talk about the robots, algorithms, and drones taking this economy over, and due to digital assets, they don't need a human involved. And getting back to Bitcoin, back in these loans, remember what Larry Fink from BlackRock, Blackstone, Drunken Miller, the United States is going to go 10 years with no growth. And why is that? Because humanity is going to be taken out of the workforce. And the robots, algorithms, and drones are going to take over this economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep are going to go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
SEC Commissioner Mark Ueda joins me now. Commissioner, Trump wants to make America the world's crypto capital. How will the next SEC chair make it happen?
Well, good morning, Stuart. One of the things that President Trump is absolutely right is the current administration's war on crypto needs to stop. There are a number of things that we can do with respect to crypto to help make America one of the global leaders in crypto. First off, from a regulatory perspective, we can provide the appropriate clarity. Some crypto is not even a security at all, but we need to make clear whether or not you fall within SEC jurisdiction or not. If you do, we need, again, a set of rules so those players in this space know what to do, whether it's making an offering, if you're a broker-dealer, how you handle those sorts of transactions, how you custody and safeguard those, what it means for asset managers. One of the other very important things we can do is to create safe harbors and regulatory sandboxes to allow that innovation to occur. And finally, we need to work with the Congress, the White House, and other federal regulatory agencies to make sure we have a cohesive and comprehensive approach to crypto.
Well, you seem to have a pretty firm grasp of where you want to take the SEC. Gensler steps down on January the 20th when Trump comes in. Would you want the job? Would you take it?
Well, that's a decision for the president to make. What I can tell you is that whoever steps in that job, there is a lot of work that needs to be done to address some of the regulatory excesses, not only at the SEC, but at other administrative agencies. There are a lot of new rules and regulations that were rolled out. there are a lot of unintended consequences, many of which will need to be addressed.
You sound like you're auditioning for the job because you're coming out with all the things that Trump wants to see, right? Are you auditioning? Are you throwing your hat in the ring?
Well, I'm just going back to my experience in the last transition we had with President Trump. I was fortunate to be on our executive staff as a senior advisor to acting Chairman Michael Pivovar, who was named by President Trump to take over the agency after the Obama administration. And there are so many things, like the situation was back then, that need to be addressed. Back then, it was many of the regulatory overreaches that resulted from implementation of the Dodd-Frank Act.
Senator, first and foremost, listen, I know you love that. You look great, by the way, with laser eyes. Let's talk about the Bitcoin Act of 2024, because the most important thing for a lot of people is establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. On the other hand, though, some people say, why would we need such a thing?
Well, first of all, Charles, I want to compliment you on your newest book. I read it, I loved it, and I recommend it to everybody.
Thank you.
And among the things you raised, Charles, in your book is the importance of having diversified assets, the importance of having some things that are long-term store of value. And Bitcoin is certainly that. So why Bitcoin would make sense as part of our strategic reserves is that we recognize other long-term stores of value and put them in strategic reserve. We have a gold strategic reserve. We have an oil strategic reserve. I think it is fitting that Bitcoin, now that is really digital gold, be included among our reserve assets. So I'm proposing in the Bitcoin Act that we purchase roughly 200,000 Bitcoin a year just by converting money we already have into Bitcoin and hold them for 20 years. If we did that with, say, 5% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist, which is roughly 1 million Bitcoin, we could cut our debt in half in 20 years. And in the meantime, we would have an asset that's growing in value while our own dollar is decreasing in value. And thereby we could shore up the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. What that does is help us protect ourselves against inflation and protect the US dollar on the world stage.
So you also have here, so that's the Bitcoin purchase program, proof of reserve system. I want to shoot down to the bottom of the list and come back up, because this is something that it seems really critical. Protect Bitcoin property rights, a firm's rights or of self-custody. Talk to us about this, because this is, I think, an area where a lot of individuals in the retail side are concerned about.
It's very important that we protect Bitcoin and people who hold their Bitcoin in individual wallets. We don't want to see this asset become owned only by governments, and certainly don't want to see it controlled by governments, because its great virtue is as freedom money. It is infinitely divisible. It can be used all over the world. It is something that you can send from one person to another at a very low cost and very quickly. Its ability to help bring people out of poverty or into the innovator class and the wealthier class is very exciting. And that's why we want to protect individual property rights in Bitcoin and people's individual wallets.
Right.
There's a phrase, not your keys, not your coin. Your keys are your ability to access your Bitcoin. We want to make
going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the fourth industrial revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.